Over the past week, we saw the market move consistently higher. People were buying the dip at every opportunity they had. There was no volatility. But today, we saw the single biggest stock market drop since Trump's announcement of reciprocal tariffs. And in this video, I want to explain why I think that the market is still headed higher for one more push before the real sell-off begins. But before I begin, I want to talk about Toastbeans, which is a stock analysis platform available on the iOS App Store that I built from scratch. And I post daily market analysis on the S&P 500, on the NASDAQ, and I also post individual stock analysis on your favorite stocks like AMD, Amazon, Meta, and I also put in the research and time to make these analysis so you don't have to and you can make profitable trades. So go ahead and check that out. It is available for download for free on the iOS App Store. Now, the stock market had a pretty big sell-off today on deficit concerns. As you can see here, the Dow Jones dropped over 800 points, S&P dropped nearly 100 points, and the NASDAQ dropped nearly 300 points. And we did not see any dip buyers that we saw over the last 7 days. And part of the reason why was because the 30-year Treasury bond yield crossed 5% for the second time this week. That's pretty significant. And the 10-year traded at 4.61, the highest since February. And it says here that while rising yields mean bond prices drop, they also promise high returns at potentially lower risks, right? And elevated borrowing costs for companies and consumers, the US stock market sold off Wednesday, a sharp reversal from the rally beginning May 12th. And so, just because of a poor bond auction, the stock market sold off heavily in the middle of the day. And the funny thing is, even though we got a credit rating downgrade from Moody's on Monday, that alone did not cause a stock market sell off, though it did cause a gap down in the morning, and then people started buying the dip. But this one, people did not buy the dip, and the stock market sold off heavily. And it's quite interesting because we're seeing a range-bound price action for the stock market over the last 7 or 8 days. It didn't go anywhere. Today's sell-off did not produce a meaningful reversal and a bearish cross on the MACD. We did not see that. And you can see that the daily MACD remains positive. That leads me to believe that I think that the momentum would still continue higher until the MACD turns negative. And you can see that every time the MACD turns negative, we get a decent reversal. You can see a cross here, we get a decent sell-off. And here we did not get a cross, so the sell-off was quite muted. And I believe that if you look at the Elliott wave count, of course it's all speculation, but I believe that the first wave started here. We got a wave 2. All this is wave 3 because even though over the last few days we pretty much went nowhere and we were range bound, the market still kept making higher highs, which led me to believe that we were still in the middle of wave 3. And wave 3 has since finished, and we're getting wave 4 with the sell-off. And where could support be, right? Even though it's kind of holding this exponential moving average, this blue line here, you can see that if the market were to move lower, we could see it tag prior resistance at around 577, 578, and it's also gap support from the most recent gap. So if the market were to sell off more, it could tag these levels, but I have reason to believe that I think that the market will still respect the exponential moving average and get another push higher for wave 5. And before we get into all the different charts, I want to mention that NVIDIA reports next week. So if the market believes that NVIDIA will do poorly in its next earnings report, then we would have seen a more significant sell-off. And Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, has been traveling to various places, including Saudi Arabia and Taiwan, to make sure he has secured investments in various places around the world. And so keeping this in mind, I want to quickly talk about why some of these individual tickers could help support my theory on the S&P 500. If you look at Tesla on the daily time frame, it's also showing that same pattern. We have a 1 up, a 2 consolidation. We recently had a 3 for a big move up. And now we're getting a wave 4 consolidation, a wave 4 flat consolidation. If it were to be a start of a wave 2, we would see a deeper correction, not a sideways correction. And that's why I believe that Tesla is getting one more push higher. If you look at AMD, AMD is showing the exact same pattern. And for a matter of fact, it is also a cleaner pattern. If you can see that we have a wave 1 higher, a wave 2 for a pullback, a wave 3, a long wave 3 for a high of near 124. And we got a wave 4 pullback. If it were to be the start of a wave 2 pullback, we would see a deeper correction and not a hold of the exponential moving average. Not only that, we can see that the MACD has not yet turned bearish, signaling that deeper correction is not yet here. We could still see one more push higher for AMD off the heels of Nvidia. Meta is also showing the same thing. Interestingly enough, for Meta, you could see that we had a green daily candle close today, but the S&P 500 closed almost 1% down and the Nasdaq 2% down. Even though we had a blood red day in the indexes, Meta managed to close on a green candle today. We still have a bullish MACD cross, signaling bullish upside momentum. I believe that after this consolidation here, we should see another push higher. And who knows, it could be off of Nvidia next week. It could be any catalyst, but I expect wave 4 to be completed soon. Similar for the S&P 500. I believe that wave 4 is soon yet to be completed. And you can see here on the weekly time frame for the S&P 500 that we just got a bullish MACD cross. So even if we were to pull back to nearly 570, 567, I expect the EMA to hold because we just got a weekly EMA hold and now we're getting a push higher. So if we were to get any pullback, this weekly EMA should hold and continue a bullish push higher. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys found this video helpful for your trades, for your positions, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And go ahead and check out ToastBeans application. I do post daily analysis, daily market analysis, individual stock insights for your benefit. And it's all available for free for download on the iOS App Store. So go ahead and check that out. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.